Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Random. Egberto, Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today, as usual. First in the house today, in the chat, we have El Senor Patrick Magner. Patrick says, meow, from Houston, Texas. We also have Paul Fleming in from Powder Springs, Georgia. We also have Joe joining from Los Angeles, California. We missed the first couple of dozen on the other chat, but we have Ray, how you doing? France Morlape, welcome aboard. Marco Nat Rubio, I love that. Marco Nat Rubio and Tyria, great to have all of you here. We are going to have a great show. As you all know, I went to, well, what are we going to cover today? We're going to cover número uno. Vamos a comenzar con who? El señor Markos Moulitsas, who is the publisher, author, founder of Daily Coast, which eventually morphed into Netroots Nation. And you know, we've been to over 20 Netroots Nation now. I think I've been to about 15 or 16 of them. Every year, the largest conglomeration of progressives anywhere in the country. We meet, we discuss, we strategize, we learn. All of these things in one place where progressives can meet. Went ahead and met a whole lot of good activists, politicians. You know, I did Maxwell Frost. We did Jamie Raskin. We did Ana Lilia Mejia, Delia Ramirez. We also had the newcomer Chris Rag from Pennsylvania, who's going to be another progressive star in Congress. We also spoke to a lot of great activists out there, including the author, what's his name? I always get his name mixed up. Elie Mistal, right? Elie Mistal, that's how you say it. Elie Mistal, among many others. I got 42 interviews. I was concerned in the beginning because we weren't in the best spot. Radio or media role was not in the best spot, but we got a good one. Anyway, before I get started, anybody has anything that they want to put in the chat? Brittany, who brought me some good Panamanian food, is in the chat. She says, Hola Egberto, and she's rolling those R's again. But you know what you didn't do, Brittany, when I saw you in person? Not once did you roll your R, and I forgot to kind of tease you into rolling your R. Also, Kahala Ringol, welcome aboard as well. Lisa Blair out of Atlanta, Georgia, welcome. Did I see you this morning, Lisa, on our morning show? I'm not sure. I don't remember. Anyway, the other subject we're going to cover is Bolivia. You know, remember what we do over here, folks. We don't only stay localized with the politics. You know, today, let me tell you a little story before I get started. Let me tell you a big, you want to call and roll those R's, and you think your Ukrainian and Russian accent's going to come in and help you? I don't know, Brittany. I don't know. Call in. Let's see if it works. Before I get started, call in. Joe says, I want vegan Panamanian food. I'm going to have to go back to Panama pretty soon and see how is the vegan doing in Panama. But I don't think vegan does very well in Panama. We eat everything down there, man. We eat everything. Pat, welcome aboard. Lynette, our traffic cop, is in. Vegan Cindy is in as well. And of course, Lisa says, no, I forgot to say good morning this morning. Well, good morning and good afternoon, beautiful. We also have Eric Hayes in from Kingwood, Atascocita as well. Let me tell you a little story before I get started. Today, I've been blogging downstairs, right? Because I've been trying to save energy and not to keep everything on all of the time. So I said, you know what? I'm going to blog downstairs. So I'm blogging downstairs and I'm writing the program. And Bruce wants some vegan chicken and rice. Chicken is not vegan, you know that, right, Bruce? Hey, Bruce, let me ask you this. Right after the program, I can bring your stuff. Are you available right after the program? As soon as the program is over, I'll run over by your place. Let me know if that is okay. Anyway, let's see. So I'm sitting down, and my daughter, my wife, are sitting down, and we're watching this great thing that Donald Trump has done. He has signed a new MOU, right? He has signed a new MOU that's it's the best thing since apple pie. And we know it's all crap. We know the war is all crap. So my wife said, what's going on really with this Iran thing? And she said, is what he's saying about Obama giving away money and so forth. I said, no, we just had Iran's money since 1979. And she said, why? Why were we holding on to Iran's money so long? And I said, well, after the hostage crisis, and she's like, oh, those, yeah, they did some bad things. And I said, okay, let's go ahead and do something. And she got a hell of a, it's funny because she really wanted to get this information. And a lot of times I use my wife as a litmus test. Okay. I use it as a litmus test. Coffee not required, thanks. It's a good thing. We are off to Minneapolis, manana. Okay, well, I just bring it and drop it off today after the show. So we started talking, and she knew nothing about 1953. So I told her the whole story about the United States and Great Britain ripping off Israel, I mean not Israel, ripping off Iran on their royalties from oil. And when Mossadegh, who was democratically elected, wanted to check to make sure they were getting their royalties, etc., the Mossad, not the Mossad, but the MI6 and is it MI6 or MI5, whichever one is the CIA equivalent to the United States and the CIA, they made sure to get Mossadegh, the democratically elected leader of Iran, overthrown. I explained that to her. She's like, we did that? And I'm like, yes. And then she said, but and what? I said they installed the Shah of Iran, who was a criminal, who was the king and very ruthless to his people, and got a lot of them killed. And it took them all this while, but eventually they had their revolution in 1979, and we were victims. They took our people as hostages, a bad thing, but as you know, one man's terrorist is another man's hero or the founding father. Like our founding fathers, the England considered them terrorists, right? They destroyed stuff that were otherwise British. And she's like, "Oh, I didn't quite know that." And I said, "Yeah." And interestingly enough, um, that is where the hate began between the Iranians and the Americans. Before that, they were great friends. I mean, Iran is an advanced society, no less advanced than the United States, no less advanced than Britain. These are the folks of the different empires that were out there. And what I realized, because again, my wife is American, went to school out here, and while in Panama, because we were not a superpower, we had to learn about absolutely every country in the world. We had to learn the capitals of every country in the world. But here's the other kicker that we had to learn in Panama. We had to learn about the United States, the superpower. We had to learn about every 50 state of the 50 states. We also had to learn the capital of every one of the 50 states in Panama. Here it is. Latin American schools in Panama, we had to learn all those things. So we learned world geography and specifically American history requirement. So I'm telling her this story, and I'm telling her, yeah. So I mean, we can't really listen to the mainstream media and get our news because it causes us to make bad decisions, invade countries, do things that we shouldn't be doing because we don't understand, and we don't understand that it's the economic structure of these big businesses that forces us into these wars. The Iranian people, great people. American people, great people. Brazilian people, great people. But the plutocracy of these different countries are the ones who cause issues and problems. And then, so we got into that. And then I said, in expanding our news, she's like, how come they're not telling us all of this on these stations? And I'm like, my God, I can't let any of my PDR posse hear you say that. You're my wife and you're telling me this. Don't you listen to my show and hear me talk about this all the time? Yeah, but you know. Yeah, but you know. So I'm like, okay, what station do I listen to in addition to MS Now and CNN and Fox News? I don't know. You don't know? Al Jazeera and all these other external newspapers. Okay, okay. Can you find Al Jazeera? Well, of course, Al Jazeera is not on cable, but we can pull it up on YouTube. So we put it up on the TV on YouTube, and it so happened that Al Jazeera was running a piece of how the war started and how it went from Iran, Iran being a friend, and I mean, it was just coincidence that as soon as we turned to Al Jazeera, they were given a synopsis of American and relationships with, it was just amazing. It is just amazing. I don't know who keeps shutting down the subset, but I see it flashing sometimes. So it turns out that we got, she all of that. So it's funny because she was making some eggs, and no, I not making eggs. She said something, and I said, "Well, I'm not giving you any more lessons until I get some eggs. If you exchange this lesson for some eggs." So I thought I was playing, right? And then so she got up and really made some eggs, and then she said like, "Hey, all right, time to continue the lesson." And in my mind, I'm like, "Wow." So we kept on talking about it, and we finally got into a whole lot of other issues. And I'm gonna just kind of tease you a little bit with it before I go into Markos Moulitsas, because let me tell you, all all of us here are good people. I don't care my MAGA folks in the chat right now, my liberal and progressive folks in the chat right now. Love you all, great people. But here's the thing, and I think we need to realize this. We have been served by corporations that have done a lot of bad things and a government that have done a lot of bad things. I pointed out to my wife when she was like, "Yeah, but we can't let Iran get an atomic bomb and all that kind of stuff." And I'm like, "Look, I'm going to ask you because and we're talking about terrorists and killing and all of that, right?" And I said, "How you do you determine the worst terrorists?" Well, how many people you kill? I say, let's talk about body counts right now. And we went through body counts in Gaza. We went through body counts in the West Bank. We went through body counts in the Caribbean. We went through body counts in South America, Latin America. And it was like, oh my God, the two countries right now that are doing the most killing, I mean, killing people ended up dead, are is our military and Israeli military. Oh my God. We're the ones blowing up buildings. We're the one blowing up bridges. We're the one blowing up boats in the ocean. We're the ones blowing up things to go get and capture people. Do we want, we call other countries terrorists. Do we want that to be assigned to us as well? No, my wife is American, Brittany. Do we want to be assigned that as well? And she thought for a while. Nope, we Russia has not killed as many people as we have killed this year. And let me go even further. During World War II, the country that got killed the most was Russians. Think about that. I mean, these are just the numbers. They paid a huge price in World War II. Bad, but again, who are they led by? Bad leaders. We don't hate the Russians. We don't hate the Iranians. We don't hate our Americans. We hate the leaders. So she got that, and my goal today was to show that we have to make our minds up, and we have to start taking responsibility for the people that we elect. So she got that and understood, oh my God, I didn't realize when you look at killing like that, and we always have an excuse why it's okay for us to kill. Like as an example, she said, what really happened when those crews, when that elementary school got hit in Iran? I'm like, well, two of our cruise missiles went in. One went in first, and an hour or so later, another one came in and annihilated the kids in the school. We did that. Yeah, we did that. Did we know that those kids were there? Likely not. We're not. We don't want to kill a bunch of kids, but we did it. But if the shoe is on the other foot and another country kill our kids, We're like, those terrorists, look at what they've done. I'm saying balance, honesty in the way we treat the news and who we elect. So we continue talking and talking and talking. And, she said, well, what about, yeah, they do kill their own, but we kill our own too, right? If you're in a body like mine, I always feel a distress when I'm out in the field and I see anybody in blue. And notice that I said anybody in blue. We do that to our own as well. It seems like every country does, right? But so we went ahead and started talking about the contract that supposedly we signed with, or the MOU that we signed with Iran. She said, "You think Iran is going to abide by the signature?" I'm like, "No, they're not." I said they're going to go and they're going to continue building their nuclear bomb, and then she said, "Oh," and I'm like, "Well, here's the thing. Um, we never abide by contracts." She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, we signed NAFTA, we backed out of NAFTA. We signed the Paris Accords, we backed out of the Paris Accords. We signed the JCPOA. That's a contract with with Iran to go ahead and they stopped them from doing their uranium, etc. We backed out of that treaty." She said, "Oh, okay." And I said, "And that didn't start recently." I said, "Look up the Guadalupe Hidalgo Treaty after the Mexican American War, where we're supposed to the Mexicans that are on this side of the Guadalupe, that the Rio Grande, I mean, of this side of the Rio Grande, they are supposed to be able to keep their culture, etc., etc., etc." Then we started wanting to force English and also kicking them off their land. I said we can remember the Trail of Tears when these folks had rights into the land where they were, and we marched them into Oklahoma. Trail of Tears. We can also remember that the contract we sold, the agreement we sold with I think it's, I don't remember which, the Cherokees or the Sioux, for the Black Hills in, I think, Montana or wherever that is. We actually, when gold was found, we immediately went against that treaty and took it back. So let's get honest here. Our leaders have, again, the people are good, but our leaders have never fulfilled a contract, a treaty, when they found a reason not to. And we can see it as recent as recently and as far back as the foundation of this country. We can simply look at these things, and these are things we should be cognizant of, because if you're speaking to a foreigner elsewhere in the world and you start saying certain things, they're going to be, "What are you talking about? Have you forgotten this? Have you forgotten that?" And it turns out we don't know very much about our own history. And the truth of the matter, I've just skimmed the surface of who we have allowed our politician to make us be. That is why it is so important for us, one, to be educated, something that the right and neoliberals don't want. Neoliberals want to keep us uninformed because then they can tell you there's a reason we need to invade some country out there because they're bad. Imagine if some other country out there said, "We are going to invade you because you didn't abide." We have to be cognizant of what we are doing, and we have to educate ourselves and make sure we know what we're talking about. One of the things I said I'd always do here, and by the way, folks, it is patriotic. I'm a naturalized American citizen. I chose to be here. And many folks have chosen to be here. I think the most American patriotic thing to do is to be honest as far as who we have been, who we are, and who we are going to be. Who we are going to be is what has been written about who we are. What sold me to come into America, as you heard me talk about writing in my book, is picking up that shoes and saying, Imagine my granddad's shoe who came over here before all of us. Imagine this shoe walked in the United States of America. Imagine these shoes walked in New York. That is the mentality of many people around the world because of what America sells itself as. But when you come over here and you may learn certain things, you realize that it is your responsibility, all of our responsibility to make that a reality. And that's what we are here for. We can't continue to let these guys know us. We have to make who we say we are who we are. And with that, let's go ahead and talk about. Oh, I didn't cue it up yet. I need to get me into Markos Moulitsas, who we had a long chat with, and I am pulling it up as we speak. If I can get to it, interviews is there. And come on, Marcos, where are you? And here we have Markos Moulitsas. I think that's it. And let's get busy with the interview. Welcome to another edition of Politics and Right. I'm Egberto, Willies, your host. Today I'm honored once again, to be with the founder of Daily Kos, the largest progressive rag in the country, El Señor Markos Moulitsas. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing great. Always so great to hang out with you.
Yes, I know, man. We've been doing this now for how many? 2 decades now?
Yeah. The conference for 2 decades. I think you've been here almost from the beginning, right?
Yes. I mean, look at my Daily Kos number. I came in twice, actually, and the one that's there is a later one, but I'm not one of those high numbers. I'm one of those low numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still keep it now that you moved it to work.
No, we didn't keep them, but...
Yeah. By the way, good conversion. How is it going?
So, yeah, we had to move to a new platform. The old one was about 15 years old. Mm-hmm. It was on technology that was obsolete, and we kept getting attacked. And I knew one of these days they were going to crack the code. And any platform transition is always a little challenging. People don't like change. Mm-hmm. And things are legitimately broken. Like, there's always going to be bugs. Yeah. But I think now it's been about 5 weeks, and now we're at a place where things are a lot more stable. And I don't know though. I didn't have any problems with, but my website is all WordPress, so I knew all the little tricks and so forth. No, you're good. Yeah.
In the WordPress, and the thing about it though is I loved it. I actually even with buggy and all, I loved it. You see, I work with WordPress, and it was like, wow, at last an interface that you're used to and you can use easily. So no, I love the WordPress interface, and the good thing about it is later on, whenever there's some magical add-ons come in, you can just drop that baby in, and you don't have to go reinvent the wheel. So if there are too many complaints on the WordPress, send them to Tolerant Liberal, because it's the real thing. But anyway, anytime I come to you, I really want to hear your thoughts on the current political map and the current political state.
Okay. Ask away.
That's it, man.
That's a very broad...
It's a broad question, because from your broad answer, then I give you those questions.
All right. That's fair. All right. We are... All right. Two points I'd want to make, broadly speaking. One, we're going to win big in November. Okay. It's not only are things looking bleak for Republicans right now, the economic indicators are disastrous. You have a war that Trump doesn't know what to do with. Everything, and Trump is incapable of refocusing on the things that people want to hear about, which is lower gas prices, lower grocery prices. Said he wants to talk about his arch and his reflecting pool, and now a promenade behind the Lincoln Memorial, and gold plating on the Horseman, and the National Golf Course, and on and on and on. That's what he wants to talk about. That's all he cares about. His brain is Swiss cheese. He can't focus on anything.
I think he's mentally ill.
Oh, absolutely. It's without a doubt. So there's that piece. That said, Democrats are incredibly unpopular. We're going to win not because of the Democrats, but because Donald Trump is so historically incompetent and unpopular Democrats are gonna ride that into probably a Senate majority. Definitely the House, probably the Senate.
It's interesting. I was looking at some numbers and wishful thinking. Look, I saw 13 vulnerable Republican senators, and I said, "Wow! Suppose that turned around, that would actually be a filibuster-proof majority." It's not likely not to happen, but I looked at it, it's like
there's gonna be surprises on election night.
I really think so.
There's gonna be things like Kansas? What happened? Wait, where did Kansas come from?
Kansas has a governor that's Democratic. So
Kansas. A little fun political fact: of the top 25 most educated states, only 2 are Republican.
I believe that. Yeah.
Utah, because of Mormonism, and Kansas.
Imagine that.
And if you look at the 25 least educated states, there's only 1 Democratic state in that, and that's
Kentucky.
No, Democratic.
Oh, Democratic state. Okay.
New Mexico.
New Mexico. Oh, yeah, and they have some structural problems based on
it's Native Americans and Latino.
Yeah. I mean,
so Democrats have an opportunity to. I mean, if this continues in 2028, it's going to put us on an even playing field. I don't want to be on an even playing field. I want us to be an advantage. And if it continues by 2030, let's say we win in the White House in 2028, which is likely, by 2030 we'll get decimated again, right? Like this idea of a Democratic, and I'm always thinking ahead. How do we as a party show Americans that we're actually in tune with their needs? And that means we have to be laser focused on the shit that people, most Americans want their politicians to talk about. Lower fucking prices, cost of living. That's it, right? For Trump, it's talking about his monuments and this and that, right? For liberals, we want to talk about gay rights and immigrant rights and like we can still believe those things. We can still govern those things. We need to shut the fuck up about them and really focus on the things because what happens is people don't understand this, right? They think, the famous Trump commercial in last cycle where he said Kamala Harris answering the question about gender affirming surgery for prisoners, right? And a tagline. And so people think, like people hate trans people. They think it's trans people. That wasn't what worked with that commercial. What worked is the tagline. Kamala Harris is for they, them. Donald Trump is for you. That's it.
Yes.
It's a notion that we are more concerned about, these 6 people over here.
The towel and exactly.
As opposed to the average voter who doesn't care about, they're not hostile. Like if you look at the polling on trans rights, people are not hostile to trans rights. But they don't believe in discriminating against them.
Right.
They just don't want politicians that care more about them than they care about the individual.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying the politicians actually do that, but that perception is.
And again, they create that perception. And I think you nailed it. And I'm going to ask you sort of a touchy question, right? Because I agree with absolutely everything you just said. And there was one guy running as a Democrat, he had a little other addition to the Democrat that did that, and he got decimated for that belief that we need to centralize on the economic issues of people. And I hate to tell you, brother, was Bernie Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
When he sat down and he said, economic issues, gay rights people came out. You don't care about gay rights. Yeah. Other people. And, one of the things that I said then was, if you make people financially happy, just like you're saying, and I think you're saying right now, people need to go out there and centralize on this. And I think you nailed it. Now, you depress me when you say, since we're not going to do it, what's going to happen in 2030?
I mean, to a certain degree. And I will admit, because I am nothing if not accountable to myself, as I was one of those people that thought that Bernie... I'm just saying.
I was not talking about you. I'm talking about the general consensus.
I will say, I've evolved.
Yeah.
I think I want to normalize that in politics. It's okay to be like, oh yeah, what I believed wasn't working as well. And now I see it because of the consequences. And to me, I thought Bernie was too focused on that.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, no, he was right. Like That's what we need to focus on.
You know what's interesting? Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was kind of it's funny how you said I actually I don't know if you remember in Phoenix when Bernie came and they blocked I was kind of like mixed up all there. It's like, where do I need to go and all that kind of stuff. And I got what the upset was, right? But ultimately speaking, in speaking to some of these folks, it's like, if you keep everybody financially happy, you can do all the other things afterwards.
It's easier to demonize the other when somebody's struggling, because then it becomes a battle. Like, they have resources that should go to you.
Right.
But if everybody's uplifted, you don't have that need to create the other. For absolutely 100% sure. So a big part, I think Mamdani is at his strongest when he's 100% focused on the economic issues. I think he weakens when he gets dragged into like
the
Israel and Gaza.
Issue,
that's where it weakens him, because one, he's freaking mayor of New York.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the mayor of Gaza, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not the prime minister of Israel.
Right.
This obsession with a segment on the left to drag Gaza into everything when we are literally fighting for our democracy in this country is so self-defeating that I can't even begin to deal with it. But so Mamdani won from nothing because he was laser focused. I mean, his videos are like, why is halal so expensive on
exactly?
It's because of our permitting process and this.
Yeah.
Well, Jesus Christ, get rid of that shit. Like that's the kind of thinking that you are making people's lives better.
Have you seen him do a lot on jumping on the Palestinian thing, or do you see people trying to get him to answer those questions? I
don't think he's freelancing it. I think it's they ask and he'll answer, and I think there's a way to kind of push that out of the way and say, I'm mayor of New York City. I'm here to make the life of every New Yorker better.
Yeah.
And the way I'm doing it, blah, 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 blah. But what about Gaza, Israel? Again, I'm the mayor of New York City. When I become president of the United States, you can ask me.
Yeah.
When I become prime minister of Israel.
I think he's learning to do some of that, because I saw them brought it up, and when they brought up the Palestinian issue, I saw him voluntarily bring up his Jewish constituents, and I don't know, but I tell you, I working in Houston and all these issues, and yes, even at KPFT, I do not centralize on anything, but I get in trouble here too, but capitalism and all these other issues, right? But I think what he has been good at is being able not to get the people who would get mad at him for not talking about the issue to still engage with him as he, and I think all of us need to learn how to, I don't know, do you know what his approval is now? I don't know. Do you know what his approval is now? Is it still good or?
It's good.
Okay.
I've seen, I haven't seen anything that would suggest otherwise.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot that there's a lot, even as a host, I've learned from how he answers questions, because he singularly knows how to not to get people pissed off.
I mean, he did that Fox News interview, right? And they tried so hard, and he finally got him on something. And I'm pretty sure it was Gaza related, right? And they're trying to get him.
Yes.
And I was like, the one dissident note. But you see it though, you're like, ooh, that was that. And you're not going to make anybody happy.
Yes.
Right? It's not the thing he's going to say the thing, Israel's genociding, and then then what?
Exactly.
What did that accomplish? And because it has nothing to do with his job.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never going to make people happy anyway, right? They're going to want to hear it over and over and over and over again, right? They keep asking him the question. He says it once. It's not like,
every single person is going to, it's funny, because when I ask these guys to come into these, so I don't even really talk about it much. In fact, there was, for about 6 months on my program, it was a no Palestinian-Israeli issue goal. And it had nothing to do with, I was agnostic. If they asked me a question about it, I'll talk about it. But what I didn't want to do is consume with what you just said. And that is, okay, so I say it's a genocide. What now?
Yeah. And then you got to say it over and over and over again. And it's the time you're like, I don't want to talk about that. Is
you're either anti-Muslim or you're a Zionist,
or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the no win. There's no win, and there's no end game. And if we're talking about politics being practical and politics done right,
yes.
When you're talking about that, what's that end goal? What are you actually trying to accomplish?
Yes. Well, I tell you, you're absolutely right about that. Here's the funny part, though, because I get into trouble because while I am not talking about Gaza and the other things specifically, when I start talking about the reason for, let's say, why Gaza can happen, it has more to do with, again, back the economic issue altogether. I have backed all of our issues back into economics.
Yeah.
All our problems, racial problems, ethnic, every single problem we have can be tied into our economic system. And I think I've done a good job in tying that in. So, Mike, but it is hard to put the message out because it has the big C word in. So I have to kind of walk around it.
The big C is in capitalism?
Yes. You know,
it is our system. Even Mamdani's working through it. I mean, he's not saying let's nationalize the halal vendors on the street.
Not what. Yeah, exactly.
Right. He's saying let's make permitting process so we can have more of them and cheaper.
Exactly.
Like that's the idea. I'm a capitalist, and I'm not so.
Markos, what are you?
I'm a capitalist.
I think you're a free enterpriser. Let's fight.
Yeah.
You're a free enterpriser.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. You own Daily Kos.
Yeah.
Okay. You support progressive items and all these good things. Capitalists don't.
Oh.
And you say, here's what I've been trying to say. We have allowed capitalists to redefine what is capitalism. In other words, if you can agree with this, if you allow all these social programs that these guys negate, it's no longer it's no longer capitalism. And what they've said is capitalism is freedom. Capitalism is this and that. But isn't capitalism an autocracy?
So what's your definition? What's your difference between capitalism and free enterprise?
Free enterprise is where everybody has the ability to own their own business if they want to, have employees if they want to, create the products that they want to, all these things. The only difference here is the capitalization of paper. In other words, when the capitalist portion comes in, when I take other people's companies, monetize it, ship it to a whole bunch of other people, and then those other people can decide whether that company exists or not by the way they work the financial structures.
Is that the textbook definition?
No, and that's the magic. The magic is to not let that be the text. It is just like how they have the definition of communism and socialism as the same now. They're not the same.
Yeah.
And the dictionary do that because from the times of Powell Memo, they want us to keep that correlation together so we don't go there. They want us to keep the correlation of capitalism and freedom because you separate that, you start to see, hey, capitalism is an autocracy. I don't have any power in capitalism. Yeah. You don't have any. Well, You're not. No, I'm kidding.
I'm good. I'm a free enterpriser.
You're all right. I love that. So I'm a free enterpriser. That's what and I'm trying to make that separation in folks so that they can start to say, oh, we can have all the things that Daily Kos say we had. But the issues that I have sometimes on Daily Kos when they tear me up is if I bring that argument up, oh my God, they come at me.
Because of that conflation between the two?
Because of the conflict. And I am trying to slowly find a way to...
Yeah.
This...
I mean, there is a... Like on Reddit, I spend some time on the work reform subreddit. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's
no, not the reform, but Reddit. Yeah.
Work reform. Yeah, it's very anti-capitalism. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't agree with most of the stuff that's written in it. Mm-hmm. But it's fascinating to me, and I see it as people they're being, like, they feel extracted, right? They're being pulled out of, their, like, life essence. It's being dragged out of them. Mm-hmm. And for what? For, like, minimum wage a lot of times, for, like, peanuts. And so it's a frustration that to them, what the economic system is is there's no life, liberty, pursuit of happiness for them, right? It's literally killing them. And I get that, right? It's tough to live in this economic climate. And Mamdani speaks to that. And a lot of these issues are difficult. How's Mamdani going to lower rent? I don't think it's within his power to significantly lower rent. But even just being able to speak about it and say, it's a problem, I see you, I get the problem. Let me find some other ways to make life a little cheaper. Maybe we can have free busing.
But
and so to them, it's this idea that people are profiting off of whatever you call it, free enterprise, call it cap. They don't care. They just see that people are profiting from the system, and it's not them. And now income inequality has become such a thing that the number of people profiting from the system is a tiny percentage compared to the masses. Trump won those people.
Yes.
Because he spoke Kamala was speaking about all the things she would do. He's like, I'm going to lower prices on day one. It was bullshit. We knew it. We knew it. People are like, I don't even think people believe that he could literally do it. But they're like,
he saw them.
He saw them. And it could be interpreted as the first thing I'll do when I walk into office is think about how I'm going to lower prices for you. The end. The only thing that mattered. The end. Well, the trans thing, none of that mattered. It was lower prices on day one. To the point that Latinos, 46% of us voted for him, knowing he's a raging racist bigot. But, okay, you can have it, like, you can be bigoted, but can I afford my groceries?
Yes.
Like, I can't afford my groceries. So if the Nazi says I can afford the groceries and the other one doesn't, I guess I have to vote for the Nazi because I don't have a choice. It's literally survival. And that's the problem with like free enterprise versus capitalism, and the anger is because people feel left out, and they are.
They're left out. You know, I would love to see all these platforms, those of us that are progressive, kind of not allow. You see that forum that you talk about, that they hate capitalism because they associate capitalism and anything that make a profit. These are people that are just mad. They're not an intellect like you are, and they just don't get it, right? I wish we would devote more time in holding their hands, which I don't think we do. Like, even when we have conferences and that sort of stuff, I don't think we enough. When I come to these conferences, okay, I like to interview the politicians, I'll be honest with you, but the ones that I get the most out of are the everyday guy. There's a guy that sat down with a cowboy hat, and he starts to tell me about what is really wrong and etc. And this is his first time coming to Netroots, and the reason he came here is to learn what to do stuff, and he's disappointed on this particular thing that he went to, but he liked the other one that he went to because they got it. And I'm like, that is what it's all about. But here is the deal. Too many of us use those great words of what's happening to the underclass. But when it comes to saying, how are we going to solve it, Markos? We don't quite know. I think we have the answers, right? I mean, you made a comment just now where you said the rents are high. And then my next question is, but why are they high? You know, and then somebody says, it's supply and demand capitalism, but how much demand is really there for those houses in New York? You know, that really puts them up. I think for a lot of these people, the wrong answers are given to the questions. You know, just a thought.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what you think.
I think we don't listen very well.
I agree.
The words people use aren't exactly what they actually are trying to communicate.
Yes.
And so I always tell a story about how I've been working to learn how to connect with my daughter. Like, I think it literally saved her life. And she's 19 now, but like when she was 16, she was going through some really difficult mental health challenges. And, you know, she'd come from school and she'd be like, something happened. I'd be like, did you talk to your teacher? I try to solve the problem, right? Like, that's very much Democrats. But let me try to solve it, right? Like, let me throw words at you. And you're like, No,
it's not that.
Right. So then I learned how to like be quiet and listen. I thought I was listening though. That's the trick, right? Mm-hmm. But there was no attunement, right? So she would tell me words, and then she'd be like, "You're not listening," and I would say, "I'm listening. You said this and this and this," and she'd be like, "You're not listening," and she'd like storm away.
Yeah.
And I would literally be repeating what she was saying verbatim, but she's right. I wasn't listening. I wasn't attuning, right? So the like when I became like God level parents, right? She comes to me. I don't hear the words anymore. Like I feel her pain and I start crying.
Yes.
And then she starts crying.
Yes.
And then we hug it out and she's got this big smile on her face. And she's like, "Thanks, Papi." And then like, she like skips away. And I was like, if you came and said like, "What was that about?" I would have been like, "I don't know." And that's what Bill Clinton used to do. Yes, I feel your pain.
Yes.
He literally felt the pain. He wasn't listening to the words.
That story is magic. And let me tell you, I think all real parents, and especially father-daughter relationships, go through that. My daughter had 2 strokes and she had issues. And I think we all go through that point. You're not listening to what I'm hearing. And you know, I've heard those exact words before. That actually means you're a good parent because you actually started out.
It took a lot of work. It didn't happen by accident.
No, but what I'm saying, you started out trying to listen, man. You know, we claim that we're trying to listen. And when she says, "No, you're not," it's like we're listening, but we're not hearing.
So when somebody says capitalism needs to die, they're not saying capitalism needs to die. They're saying I can't afford to live. And can I get some help? Because the system is killing me.
I hate disagreeing with you. When they say capitalism needs to die, they mean capitalism needs to die. They need to be what you are. Free enterpriser. I'm telling you, man.
All right. But they're not, they're going to conflate it. I'm saying the average person,
yes,
they're going to use the word capitalism.
Help me deconflate it, Markos. You're the guy with the big blog.
It's not, if free enterprise was working for them, they wouldn't be on work reform subreddit complaining about capitalism.
We don't have free enterprise.
If we had a system that worked for them, where they can afford to live, they can live comfortably, where Elon Musk wasn't pushing to be a trillionaire for no reason other than the word. It's so extractive right now. There is a clear imbalance. There needs to be a wealth tax. There needs to be a redistribution. All these things need to happen. We need to show as a party that we are going to make their lives better. At the local level, it's as simple as like fix up a park. Can you make a park night? Can you clean up the park?
You know something, man? Why did you bring up that thing about Musk? Because Musk is I just wrote a long piece on the Musk thing. I mean,
it's just billionaires.
It's crazy.
How much money do you Mackenzie Pierce, right?
Yeah.
She's giving away billions a year. She has more money now than when the divorce happened. She cannot give it away enough to actually draw down on the principal.
It's the mathematical formula.
And these and it's not, that's like Bezos. Yeah, it's definitely Bezos and it's Trump and Musk, but it's also Oprah and the Kardashians. Like there's this wealth component where they're hoarding.
Yes.
And they'll give away here and there. How about you draw down? You don't need more. I cannot fathom being a billionaire. Like, I'd be giving that shit away so fucking quick. Because why? And I mean, at a billionaire, you're making $100 million a year just by
existing.
By existing.
Yeah.
Just $100 million a year is just going to pop in. Literally, you're not contributing anything to the economy anymore at that point. You're not contributing to society in any way. So how about contribute to society by giving away $200 million? Like, you know, and maybe over time, you'll be given less because you'll be down to $100 million. That's $10 million extra a year. Oh no, the horse. Like, how can you survive? But as an individual, how do you spend that much money?
You can't. It's just a hoarding.
Quite literally impossible. Yeah. You can't even start enough companies at that point.
It is sick.
But Elon wants $1 trillion because it's an ego, and his parents didn't love him. Same as Trump. They got a hole in their soul that can never be filled. And then if he gets $1 million, he'll want to be a $2 trillionaire. Like it's to what end?
Markos, there is no end.
That's what people see, and that's what capitalism becomes.
Yes.
They are living large, using resources that they don't need, but I need.
Yes.
Not me, the individual, but I'm saying the vast majority of America. And that's the challenge. Is how do we, as a party, get people to see that, yeah, we actually have their, and we make shit happen. That's the thing. And the way we make shit happen is we learn from Trump.
Mm-hmm.
For all these years, we got norms and we got traditions and we got Trump came in and it's like, you know what, I'm just going to fire everybody from this fucking partisan board. Like, everybody's gone from the FEC. I'm going to put my people in. Or from this landmarks commission. Oh, no, we have to have bipartisan.
Bipartisan, why?
No, we don't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, I'm just going to eliminate entire agencies that are authorized by Congress. Well, no, because they were authorized by Congress. The courts are like, no, you can do it. So we come in, we abolish ICE, we completely throw out all the fucking industry shills from boards like the FCC and the FEC and the SEC and all those commissions. And we take the tools that Trump has given us. And whatever, the ones he hasn't given us, he hasn't expanded Supreme Court. Fuck it. We're going to expand the Supreme Court. We come in and we reshape America, but not to make Donald Trump great.
Right.
But
to help the working class.
That we are going, everything we're doing is we're doing it to help you, the individual. That's how you start building. And it's not a thing you do overnight. But when people tell me, like, who do you like for 28? I'm like, first of all, who the fuck knows? It's like 2 years prior. And all the Democrats are going to run. Like, there's going to be 100.
Just like what's happening in California now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's going to run. Like, but I'll tell you what I'm going to be looking for.
Yeah.
I'm going to be looking for the people that say, if anybody says we got to get back to the norms and traditions, I'm like, all right, that's easy.
That's gone.
Yeah. Delete it. I want the people that say, Donald Trump, I will say this, and I don't want to misinterpret it. Donald Trump is the most effective president I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Dangerous statement, but yeah.
He's getting shit done. That's effective. And they're all the wrong ways.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And literally.
I'm going to cut this, Markos.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Oh my God. Markos says he's the most effective president in his lifetime. And it's like, I'd be like, okay, context, please. Please give me context. Boy, do you need context on that one.
Yes.
Imagine a Democrat approaching the presidency with Trump's disregard for norms, institutions, and traditions.
Yeah.
Like, you could actually get shit done because those norms, traditions, and institutions are there to protect the wealthy class.
Yes, I agree.
Every single one of them protects the wealthy class.
I think we are in definite agreement. Even sometimes you want to kind of go to that other side. We're in 100% agreement. Markos, let me ask you something. Give me a closer.
All right. Oh
closer.
My God, you're just gonna leave me all hanging.
You're the guy with, folks. This is the guy with the biggest right insight, and he wants me to ask him the question. No, I'm going to tell him. You paint the picture.
The close is that the future is written by those who show up.
Right.
And democracy isn't something that we're going to save, and then we get to like flitter off and do fun stuff. Like, it's our responsibility always to make sure that this is self-governance. It requires us to show up, be present, and do the work every single election, because the right wing has no problem doing that. They're always going to show up. So we got to be able to show up. We got to understand that everything that we do today has an impact to things that will happen 20 years from now, just as things that happened 20 years ago, like Ronald Reagan, Supreme Court nominees like Alito and stuff, because we didn't win those elections. Things happen because we didn't win, because Hillary Clinton didn't win. Things happen. Like, everything stacks, and everything has led to this world where Donald Trump and the Republicans are in control of everything, and they're making shit out of everything. Every election matters. So we can't do what we did with Obama. It's like, okay, we won Obama. Okay, all right, we're good. And everybody kind of like let the guard down. The future's written by those who show up, and we got to show up every single time. Markos
Moulitsas, founder of the Daily Coast, the largest progressive rag in the country.
Our rag.
That's a good word, man.
right, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. Marge KJ, I saw what you wrote about my buddy. Let me tell you, he's really a good guy. He's from Guatemala originally. I think his mother or something is from Guatemala, so he understands the struggle. Yeah, there are some issues. I mean, look, capitalism and all these things have sold a false thing that many of us buy into, and what we have to do is lead people in a way that you can drag them there. And if you notice, when we started to discuss capitalism versus free enterprise, it was a matter of saying, "Hey, let me tell you what's the real thing. That is a huge platform, and we want to be able to use these platforms to get our messages out. And to get the messages out, you have to have people listening, and we work hard at doing that. So I hear you, girl. As you wrote a few things, I'm like, here goes Marge KJ. Here goes Marge. Anyway, folks, look, welcome aboard to all those that I haven't yet welcomed. Thank you for being here. We are at the close of the show. If anybody wants to type in anything real quick, just let me know so that I can go talk about it or say something about it. Anything else before we shut this baby down? While I'm waiting for you to say something, please remember to support the show, support the program best you can. If you want to be a supporter of the program, please go to politicsdoneright.com/newsletter to become a paid subscriber. politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Alternatively, you can just hit that subscribe button and become a member. We need your support. Let me put it in the other chat as well. We cannot do it without you, because you are the one that make things happen. All right, I think I got it right there. Let's see. politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Anyway, folks, if you have anything you want to tell me about the program, remember info@politicsdoneright.com. info@politicsdoneright.com. Tomorrow is a holiday? What holiday? Oh, Juneteenth. You're right. Anyway, subscribe like a Texan. Yep, subscribe like a Texan. Anyway, folks, love you all. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you know how I end this baby. I am what? I am out.